Alright, welcome back to the channel, Deconstructing Narcissism. I wanted to talk about what I think is going to happen in the future in regards to jobs and the U.S. as a whole. And I also wanted to talk about what I think the best course of action for Gen Z and future generations would be to make sure that they have the best chance of not living in poverty or staying out of poverty. I see everywhere on the news that the economy is booming. You have MSNBC, you have Fox News, you have other news stations talking about how we have a booming economy and that the economy is the best it's ever been in a very long time, and that Joe Biden is just doing an amazing, fantastic job with the economy. There's jobs. We have an abundance of jobs. Things are looking better than ever. We have lower prices, and it's just ridiculous because I look outside, you know. I frequently when I used to live in Waukegan, and even now in where I'm in my current city, but when I used to live in Waukegan, which is a city in Illinois, I was homeless in that city during the pandemic. The same people that I was homeless with, I see walking the streets. I used to see walking the streets every single day when I lived in Waukegan. I would see new homeless people every single day. I would see white, I would see brown, I would see black, I would see Mexican. You know, poverty doesn't discriminate, despite people, you know, what people say. Sure, like, you know, some cultures, depending on, you know, a lot of cultures, how should I say this? Or I should say, depending on the culture and where they grew up, obviously, you know, poverty would be a little bit worse over there. It would be a little bit worse depending on how you grew up and what the culture was like. But, you know, I personally see homeless people every single day in Illinois, no matter where I go. You know, not just in Waukegan. Sure, Waukegan is a horrible city, but I see homeless people every day holding up signs or holding up flowers to sell. I mean, just a month or two ago, I was passing through Waukegan, and I used to see this guy all the time with what looked like his mother, and it looked like his kid too. They would sit on the side of the street and they would sell flowers to people, and you just see things like that. After being, you know, we're so gaslit by the media. We're MSNBC, Fox News, CNBC. We're so gaslit by all the media outlets and all these things telling us how great the economy is. Yet, really, all you have to do is go outside and take a look around, and you'll find out really fast that things are not looking good. I mean, every time I walk into a gas station, the prices are higher. I mean, like, a pack of 5 gum is like $3.50 at Walmart, the Walmart by me. A protein bar is like $2.50, $3. It just really depends on the day, but it's like, it hasn't gone down from like $2.50. Like, things that I used to buy are now costing $3, $4, $5 more for the same exact thing, and it's smaller by 30-40%. So I just don't see how, when this is going to end, or how this country's ever going to get better. You know, we have this current clown show going on. You know, I don't really think it matters if Biden or Trump wins. I think it's all rigged in the end anyway. There might have been a point where your voting decisions actually mattered, but I think at this point, you know, Democrats and Republicans, they're two sides of the same coin. They're both in it, you know, they're both in it together. They're both working together. So But yeah, I look everywhere I look, the prices are just increasing exponentially. I mean, there's a gas station that I go into that's right by the a room I'm renting in a house, because remember, I'm not renting an apartment. I'm renting a room in a house, and I'm living with 7 people including myself, because the cost of living is so outrageous, and the rent prices are so outrageous. Everything is so goddamn outrageous. It makes me not even want to get out of bed in the morning because of how outrageous it is. And people don't understand that you can't outwork inflation in the United States anymore. You can't outwork it. There's no job, no matter how much you get paid, unless it's in the high six figures, that you're going to be able to outwork inflation. There's, in my opinion, in the United States as it currently is, there's no future. I think the best course of action, I want to get to that in a second actually, but in my opinion, there is no future for the United States. But going back to what I was saying about the gas station that I frequently visit on my way home from the gym, I went in there and I'm looking through like the aisles of the protein bars and the shakes and the things that I would usually buy. I don't spend a crazy amount. I track my money because of how expensive food and everything is. I track my money pretty well. But when I do want to buy something, I usually end up buying a protein bar or a protein shake. And I was going through all the aisles, I should say. Excuse me. I was going through all the aisles, and I didn't see any prices on the aisles. And what really got me was, excuse me, the camera is a little. What really got me was about that was the last time I opened anything up that didn't have the prices on it was at, when I went to an expensive restaurant with my girlfriend years ago. Like, that's something you would, I don't remember ever visiting a gas station where they didn't show the prices right there. But this particular gas station, I went in it and it looked like I felt like I was ordering from a fancy fine dining restaurant. When you go to, anybody who's ever been to a nice restaurant, when you open the menu, they don't have the prices listed there. Why? Because if you were to see the prices there, you obviously wouldn't buy the food. And you have to ask the waiter for the prices. When it's a really fancy restaurant, and one that's really fancy and you like to go to, they don't generally have the prices on the menu. And that's kind of what this gas station reminded me of. This gas station didn't have any of the food prices in any of the aisles. So I go to this guy. I talked to this Indian guy at the counter. It doesn't matter, but I was just explaining to. I talked to this guy at the counter, and he's like, I'm like, where are the prices? Why is none of the food priced? I don't see anything. I don't see any prices on any of the food. He's like, what are you talking about? Well, they're all there. And I went back through the aisles to look at it. I was like, maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. And no, sure enough, the prices were not there. There were no prices on the food. And I went back again, and I'm like, dude, there's no prices in these aisles of food. Where are the prices? He's like, they're there. They're not there. You're not looking hard enough, but they're there. I'm like, no, they're not there. And this guy argued with me, this guy was literally gaslighting me, telling me that the prices were there on the food in the aisles when it wasn't. So I literally, I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to argue with this guy. Because I don't think he either understands me, or he's gaslighting me, or doesn't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I go back into the aisles and I just decided to grab a protein bar. I was like, screw it, whatever. And he rang it up, and it was like $3.25 for a small, tiny protein bar that would normally be like 35% bigger a few years ago, at least the way I remember them. And I went through it. I bought the protein bar, and I didn't say anything. I just walked out, and I'm like, is this really how it is right now? Like, this is the first time I've ever seen a gas station that doesn't list any of the prices. And I think we're at the point right now in America where gas stations are going to start having, as well, they're going to start having stuff behind, plastic or glass shelves. Because I just don't see, I just don't see how, people are going to continue buying food at the prices that they're at without mass stealing. I mean, we already have, stealing is already up. Robbery, theft is already up. But if these prices continue to get worse, we're going to see a lot more stealing. A lot more stealing. And I just don't see the United States ever getting better. In my personal opinion. This is more of a doom and gloom video, but I really don't see this getting any better. We already got, the alcohol is already locked up in many states. It's kind of, at least in my Walmart, the alcohol is all locked up. You got to press a button and talk to somebody over an intercom in order to get, what you want. It's like, we're all adults, but, we have to ask permission from somebody over an intercom so they can come over and bring a key and unlock a case so we can get a bottle of alcohol. It's like, I know it's going to get worse. I just don't know how exactly. But I can completely understand why Gen Z, why all these generations, why Gen Z, why millennials, why people are giving up, and why people think doom and gloom, why people are thinking like this. Like, I understand. All you have to do is take a walk outside, go to a store, look at the prices, or sometimes, like in my case, they don't even have the prices at all, or try to get a bottle of alcohol from, the Walmart or the Target. Try to get a bottle of alcohol and see what happens. You can't get one easily anymore. You need to ask somebody over, at least in my store, you need to ask somebody over an intercom, and they need to come over there and they need to unlock it with a key for you. We've reached a point to where if this gets any worse, then we're going to see theft we're going to see theft like never before. That's something I for sure know. We're going to see theft like never before. Going finally to my solution to Gen Z, what I think Gen Z should do about this situation. Because I know a lot of you feel hopeless. I feel hopeless as a millennial. I'm not the best at giving advice, but I'm going to offer my advice. I'm going to offer my opinion, and I don't know if it's I don't know if it's going to help, but my honest opinion is to either get into a trade or get into something that won't easily be replaced by AI. Because now, even AI is another thing I forgot to mention. Now with AI, I mean, coding is not even really relevant anymore. I know apparently, from what I've heard, a lot of people who entered coding, or who started to learn coding, have gotten laid off at their jobs because of AI. I mean, AI is taking over so many things. AI is taking over coding. AI is taking over. They're even building AI news stations. There's this country that's building an AI news station, apparently. Like, so much is being done with AI right now. It's crazy. They're going to replace a lot of jobs. I know that. But I think the best course of action is to do something that is not easily replaceable. For example, a trade. If you can get into a trade, and even the trades don't pay as much as they used to. But if you can get into a trade, do that, I would say. If you can, or if you can't, don't have the money, and you need money to go to a trade school, and you don't have the money, do something that you think won't be replaceable within the next 5 or 10 years. Because I truly believe that AI is going to make everything infinitely worse. My other suggestion for Gen Z, in my honest opinion, is to move to a different country. Move to somewhere where it's cheaper. don't waste all your money on these ridiculous prices in the States, at least, because I have friends who are spending $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 on rent, and then, you know, they're spending money on all this food. They're spending money on they're on cars. They're spending money on everything, and they're broke. My friends are all broke because they, well, one, they don't know how to manage their money, but two, everything is just too expensive here. And if you can go to another country, if you can do your research, again, I don't know. I've never, yeah, I don't live in another country. I've never lived in another country, so I can't really tell you for sure. But I know for damn sure. I work with coworkers who are from Venezuela and who are from Colombia and other different countries, and I know for damn sure that a lot of them are working here just to make money over here and move back over there because they say it's so bad over here. So, I mean, to me, you know, it might not be the best course of action for you, but to me, I mean, I can totally understand where they're coming from. It makes logical sense to me. If you're, obviously, you know, it might not be, every country has its downsides, right? It might not be what you would imagine going overseas, going to a different country. You know, you have to learn the language, you have to learn the culture, you have to know things about, you know, you have to know things about the culture and about the country. You can't just move there. So it's obviously it's a big change. It's a totally different lifestyle than what you're used to here in, you know, in America and the States. But if you can pull it off to Gen Z, I'm saying, I mean, if you can pull it off, and if you can make enough money to move to another country over there and live minimally and live, you know, happy, then that would be my recommendation. Because honestly, at this point, that's what I'm thinking about doing. So, I just got home. I'm thinking about doing more overtime for work tomorrow. It's because I'm trying to save up as much. I'm just trying to save up as much money as possible at this point. Because things are going to get worse before they get better. That's for sure. So anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that my tips helped you out for Gen Z, for all my Gen Z viewers out there. I hope you enjoyed my gas station story. And yeah, until next time, guys, talk to you in the next video.